Have you ever downplayed your knowledge, your skills, your abilities, your expertise, or maybe it was just a compliment? Well, that's what owning your brilliance is all about. Thank you so much for joining me. For those of you that are catching me live, and for those of you that will be catching the replay, put in the comments where you're watching from. I would love to hear from you and love to hear your thoughts as well. Well, as I mentioned earlier, this whole Motivational Monday, I wanted to do something different rather than just a post. I wanted to talk about owning your brilliance, since that is my whole signature message behind the work that I do as a career transition coach. If you have never, ever, well, I'm talking to the people that have, if you have ever downplayed a compliment, downplayed something that you know you've done, something that you know you're good at, well, in today's broadcast, I want to share with you the 6 cornerstones of owning your brilliance. It really had become a thing for me, because I too had to understand and go through the process of what that meant for me personally. There was a time where I did not own my brilliance. And a good example of that is I went up for an interview for a senior level role once. Well, more than once, but this was my first time going up for a senior level role. And prior to applying for that senior level role within that organization, I had been helping senior level execs in my organization on building the department, and as well as creating the role that I was interviewing for. So I knew quite a bit about this work that I was doing in workforce development. But when I got to the interview, well, needless to say, I did not own my brilliance. I didn't get the role. And the reason I didn't get the role, and I asked the interviewer, because he was my boss, and he shared very honestly and in full transparency why I didn't get the role. And his words were this: you know a lot about workforce development. As a matter of fact, you helped created this department, you created this role, but I wasn't sure about the confidence you had going up as a leader to take and move this department forward. Ouch, 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 ouch. And I was so appreciative of his honesty and full transparency. But I also had to come to the realization that I didn't own my brilliance. I didn't own the fact that, and stand in the fact that I knew what I was doing. I knew that I was ready and prepared for this role. I didn't stand in the fact that I am good at what I do. So as a result, I lost that opportunity. But I gained so much knowledge about myself. In order to grow, I do believe that you have to know thyself. Now, this is not just about the whole, when I say that, it's not just about the whole I know me, I know what I know what I like to eat and all that, the generic stuff. No. Understanding the limiting blocks, the limiting beliefs that keeps you playing small. So let's talk about the 6 cornerstones of owning your brilliance. The first one I want to bring up is vision. Vision is key to owning your brilliance. If you don't have a vision for yourself, if you don't have a vision for who you are, what you want to become, then it is going to be challenging for you to own your brilliance. It's going to be challenging for you to stand in your story, to stand in your power, and to own it. So that's the first one. The second one is values. Values is what drives your action in behavior. And I would highly recommend really nailing down to 3 core values. The third one is courage. You're going to need courage to own that brilliance, to not downplay what you know, who you are, where you come from, to stand in the power of your story. You're going to need courage. It takes courage to glow up. Take the first step to continue building your courage muscle. If you just take the first step, I promise you that courage muscle will begin to flex. The second one is action. Action is the antidote to fear. We have so many fears. We have so many things that keeps us playing small, that keeps us from standing in our story, standing in our power and owning it. But if you take just massive, imperfect action, I promise you, not only will your courage build up, but the fear for taking action will begin to dissipate. The fifth one is accountability. Only take in feedback from people that hold a space for your best interest. I can't even say that enough. You need about 5 people in your support network, and they don't have to be family. It could be friends, it could be your coworkers that hold a space for your best interest. But you need that accountability in order to continue to grow. And the last but not least, my friends, last but not least, this is what holds everything together. I cannot, when I look back at who I was as a teen mom to who I am now, it was vision, right? But it was also the belief I had in myself, the belief that came from my faith that helped me to get to this from A to Z. So, faith, personally, this is my favorite. Because without knowing that I was created for a purpose, I would not be able to grow. I would not be able to stand in my power. I would not be able to own what I know and own who I am, own the story that yes, I was a teen mom, own all of my mistakes, own everything that I've done and the mistakes that I've made in order to get to this place, in order to get to this point. So that is it for Motivational Monday. And my hope is that you take one of these cornerstones and you begin to take action. You implement action on today. What are you going to own? What are you going to do to own your brilliance? Until next time, own your brilliance.